Hello guys, Art-Teeves here. In this video, I want to show you a quick overview of key stages of my stylized satellite modeling workflow. I've cut out some boring parts and sped up the video by 3 times. Let's get started. The easiest way to create the initial shape is to combine the ProBuilding tool and automate a tree topology. My satellite is symmetrical at this point, so I can use the symmetry tool and rotate my mirror to have equal amount of vertices on all sides. You can do this like me, or actually after the point when you are done with all details. To work with multiple circles at once, I switch my coordinate system to local. I apply a Spherify modifier to open edges on top and on bottom, because their geometry might be compromised by automated tree topology. This may deform sides slightly, but it won't be noticeable. I create the engine compartment and the top part as separate objects. This way makes me able to control the amount of their sides. All models get connected on flat surfaces, so we don't have to worry about their topology. The upper part of the model can be extruded from that open circle. The rest is done similar to how we worked on the bottom part. We can create some kind of bolts here by combining Inset, Chamfer, Tessellate and Spherify modifier. We don't have to worry about topology here, as these elements are pretty small and some imperfections will be barely visible. I create the satellite dish from a sphere by using shell, chamfer and face extrude. Make sure to maintain the overall stylized look of the model by keeping details cartoony and thick enough. The same advice refers to antennas and other stuff like that. Remember, small details and thin geometry don't do well with cartoony props. I create engine nozzles from simple cylinders by using the shell modifier and scaling down inner polygons slightly. There is not much to comment here. Then I align the nozzle with the middle of the model, move it, create 2 copies and match them together with each other and with the model. Apply some decorative vents to side panels and make sure they are deep enough to be visible from some distance. If we want cavities to be shallow, we can utilize some normal maps instead. Also, I create some inner compartment on one side, flatten its bottom part and fill it with some basic console and thick wires. Round indicators or buttons are created the same way as bolts on top of the satellite, that is by using the Spherify modifier. Wires are created from splines that have their corners set to smooth. I prefer to give wires different thickness. To merge different parts of the model together, I detach only some intersecting parts, ProBuilding them together, fix their topology and attach them back. Remember to weld vertices. There are many ways to create these solar panels as separate objects that will share same UV set later on. This may be a lot more efficient than my approach here, but I wanted to have my satellite as a single object. It is more convenient in some cases, but you lose on optimization and can no longer animate or rotate your panels. I create a simple hinge, attach it to the panel, set its pivot point to its middle, apply the symmetry modifier and rotate the mirror. I repeat the process for each panel. Also, I rotate all panels slightly to avoid straight angles that are almost never good on stylized models. I start my unwrapping by using the flatten by smoothing groups function. Then I add seams to most obvious edges, break circles and cylinders, and flatten everything that can be flattened. I use UV Packer add-on and the 3ds Max Normalize UV Tiles function. After the first packing is complete, I scale down some UVs that will be barely visible. Also, I make sure that my solar panels have proper facing. Then I pack UV chucks again with a padding of 16. In Substance Painter, I use the CC0 solar panel material, which I've borrowed from the Adobe website. There's not much I can comment on texturing process, except for the relatively new Paths tool. I use it a lot these days to create some panel seams, bolts and rivets. I've made a separate video about it last week, so I'll provide a link to it in the description. I really enjoy Paths, because with their help you can do things that were previously only available via sculpting, creating alphas in Photoshop, and some other time-consuming workflows. Also, I try to avoid using bright colors on this satellite, because you have to be really precise when you do it. It is way easier to pick dim colors correctly. Our modeling rules apply to painted details as well. Always try to make them as thick as possible. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like my video, feel free to subscribe to my channel for more stylized content. And most importantly, have a great day!